again, like you said, we don't really know what it's going to look like until we see certain things filled out. But I mean, we've seen from Indiana, from several of these other schools, how quickly this stuff can turn if, number one, you bring in enough numbers to flip your roster. Indiana brought in what, like 50? It's like 45. And then the other is if you have the quarterback. And that's the thing people, if you look at Indiana, what changed for Indiana? They had two quarterbacks this year that were first-rate players. And then they had an offensive line that kept those guys clean. Everything else got really easy from there on the offensive side for them. And then they brought in just a ton of transfers on defense. So you've got to figure out, you've got to be good enough in evaluation to figure out who on the offensive line is going to be able to come in and do and plug into the specific spots that you need. And like I said, it's not that big of attack. You're not looking at having to do like what Florida State just did. They're getting five, or they've got four guys now out of the portal who are expected to start day one at offensive line. They had to go to the portal for four guys in order to field a competent offensive line for next year. They have one guy that their best offensive lineman for this year got hurt like second game of the year. So they're going to essentially have five new starters next year. North Carolina is in a position where with Banfield, with Blasky, you've got two good interior pieces there. I think if you slide in your right tackle to left or to right guard, you might have a pretty good interior already. And if not, I think at most you need three competent bodies that fit at those other spots. And if you can get two good tackles, to me, North Carolina's offense next year is going to go as far as the quarterback position and the tackle position. If they get two guys at tackle who are above replacement level as pass blockers, who are just able to hold up, get run over slowly, guys. If they're able to get guys who are able to hold up at the tackle position and then get good play at quarterback, they're going to be pretty good on offense. They've got good skill pieces. You got Davion Gauss. You've got some pieces at tight end. You've got some real skill at wide receiver. But two tackles and a quarterback, and suddenly you're able to field a competent offense. The trick to me is going to be how can they upgrade enough defensively to be able to win the line of scrimmage the way that Belichick wants to inside out. And that's going to be, to me, the harder task is there. But again, they've got pieces. They've got some linebackers that they should feel real comfortable with. They've got a few secondary pieces. But to me, I'm stacking bodies on the defensive line and in the secondary to try to figure out those positions to make sure that I'm going to be able to field the physical and fast defense that I want next year.
Talking with Buck Sanders, Jason Staples on Inside Carolina's Day After podcast. Carolina loses to UConn, but we've moved on to TCU, as Jason so succinctly put early in the show, sponsored by Johnny T-shirt and Congruity, of course. So Carolina has a lot of money to spend. Buck, if you're doing your wish list, and New Year's is coming up, and we all know Buck's famed New Year's column is coming up, I guess, in 3 days. Where are you spending your money, Buck? What are your 1, 2, and 3 spends here in the next few weeks for North Carolina, for Bill Belichick and Michael Lombardi?
Well, I think Jason nailed it on the defensive line, in particular, and maybe defensive tackle wise is where they need to spend their money, which are probably some of the hardest people to pull out of the portal. But
they are. They're the most expensive by far, other than quarterbacks.
So if I am thinking best case scenario for North Carolina, during spring practice, multiple somebodies are going to transfer out of the team they're on, enter in the portal in the spring period. They've got some decent pieces that they've already gotten out of the portal at the defensive tackle spot. But they need. I'm not seeing that undefeatable nose piece in the center of the line. That Travis Shaw might could be that guy, but
Love to have him become that guy because that's
love
the
for him to
easiest
be
piece
that
to
guy.
fill.
Yeah. So
Is he that guy though?
I think he could be. I think he
Hasn't
could
been
be.
yet.
But I do think if I could pull another Alijah Huzzie out of the portal, that would be good. If you can get that guy out of the portal, as far as spending money moving forward, and then maybe another edge, probably another edge. So those would be the three pieces I would spend my money. Not so much on offense. I don't know how much they need to spend on offense unless there's a quarterback that emerges that's interested in North Carolina and they're interested in him. Then you back up the Brinks truck to get that guy. And if somebody's asking Cy in chat, well, why isn't Shaw that guy? Shaw can be that guy. The thing that he's not is, well, Jason's pointing towards his heart, but I think more so even than his heart is his consistency.
Which comes down to conditioning.
If he can be as good on play 25 as he is on play 1, then he could be that guy. If he can give you 30, 35 snaps at nose and do a great job there, then he could be that guy. So we'll see. But, it's going to be up to him. He did make an improvement. I think everybody would agree that he improved from the year before. If he takes another step forward and maybe Bill Belichick, well, Shaw, as far as we know right now, he's still in the portal, correct? I mean, he has not thrown his name. So, he may not even be a Tar Heel next year. So, but we'll just have to see. They need that piece, though. They need that guy. And Belichick's defense has almost always had one. A big slobber-knocker in the middle of that line that just was unmovable. So we'll see how that goes.